Let's have a recap on what we have learned last time. We have learned some parts of the ventilator. Then we have learned how inspiratory valve controls the inspiration, how the pause phase is maintained, and how the expiratory phase is maintained. Let's try to understand a graph which represents all these phases. On x-axis is the time, on y-axis it's the flow, then is a graph of a typical volume control breath. The moment at which the breath started is called as a trigger. Then the inspiratory phase, and then cycling occurs, which is followed by an expiratory phase. Many people fail to understand that trigger and inspiratory phase are independent events. Trigger is the moment at which inspiratory valve opens, and inspiratory phase is a duration of time through which inspiratory valve remains open. Similarly, cycling is a moment at which expiratory valve opens and inspiratory valve closes, and expiratory phase is an allotted time for patient to exhale. Ventilator is almost passive during the expiratory phase. In this video, out of trigger, limit and cycling, we are going to learn about the trigger. Let's understand what the trigger is. Trigger parameter is actually nothing but merely a door opener. Inspiratory phase does not depend upon how inspiratory valve is open. Till now we understood what the trigger is, but the main question is how the trigger is carried out. Trigger can be driven by either ventilator or patient. When ventilator triggers a breath, it uses time as a trigger parameter. This time is basically set by us when we set the breathing rate. When we set a breath rate, we are actually setting a time trigger. In other terms, we can call it as a breath time, which can be calculated as 60 seconds divided by rate. For example, if I set a rate of 20, breath time becomes 3 seconds. It means ventilator has to deliver a breath every third second. In other example, if I set rate of 15, breath time becomes 4 seconds. It means ventilator has to deliver a breath after every 4 seconds. Let's assume that we have set the rate is equal to 15 breaths per minute. So breath time will become 4 seconds. If you draw a time scalar on x-axis and assume that each dot represents 1 second, if ventilator initiates a breath at this level, the next breath initiated will be after 4th second. If ventilator has to initiate a breath with this setting, it has to do after every 4th second from the previous breath or previous trigger. Similarly, if we set rate is equal to 20 breaths per minute, each breath will be delivered or initiated at the 3rd second. When inspiration is initiated by the ventilator, it is called a time trigger breath. When inspiration is initiated by patient, it is called a patient trigger breath. But the main question is that how ventilator knows that patient is breathing. Actually, there are many ways by which ventilator will come to know that patient is breathing. But in this video, we are going to focus only on two basic methods. Those are nothing but pressure trigger and the flow trigger. For the pressure trigger, let's recall our school level experiment. When we pull the diaphragm, the negative pressure is created inside the chamber and hence the air will enter from the outside. Similarly, when patient initiates a breath or try to initiate a breath, there will be a drop in the pressure inside the ventilator tubing, and that drop in the pressure will be sensed by the ventilator as a patient's effort. These are the two different levels of the set trigger level, and this pressure is nothing but a baseline pressure when patient is not breathing, so we can call it as a PEEP. Patient has made an effort, but this effort is too weak to reach to the set trigger level, and ventilator will not recognize it and will not deliver a breath. In this case B, the patient has made an effort which reaches to the set trigger level and machine delivers a breath after recognizing it. In case C, even though patient has made a good effort, it does not reach to the set trigger level. That means too much work needed to reach to that level, and ventilator will not realize it and will not deliver a new breath. That means the two factors are necessary to have a successful patient trigger. First factor is there should be a proper effort or enough effort from the patient side, and the second factor is the set trigger level should be appropriate for the conditions. Second kind of the trigger is a flow trigger. To understand flow trigger, we have to assume or visualize the ventilator without any inspiratory or expiratory valve, and there is a constant flow from the inspiratory unit towards the expiratory unit in the circuit during the expiratory phase. This flow can be called as a baseline flow. As long as patient is not breathing, the expiratory unit will be receiving the same flow as delivered from the inspiratory unit side. When patient attempts and breathe, some of the baseline flow will be directed towards the patient's lung, and hence expiratory unit will receive the lesser flow, which will result into the patient trigger. The interesting question is how ventilator avoids conflict between the patient trigger breath and the time trigger breath. In other words, how ventilator simultaneously handles both the trigger level if patient triggers just happens before the time trigger breath. Let's take an example here. With a rate of 15 breaths per minute, the breath time will become 4 seconds, and ventilator has to deliver a breath or has to initiate a breath at every 4th second. So ventilator has a counter inside it which counts a 4 second, and at 4th second ventilator will initiate its own breath. Now let's say that this is a proposed breath, but patient initiates a breath at the 3rd second. To avoid the conflict with the patient trigger breath, ventilator will cancel its own proposed breath, but to maintain the time trigger, it will start counting the time from the patient trigger. If patient doesn't trigger within the 4th second, ventilator will deliver its own breath at 4th second. In other words, the time trigger will act as a backup rate. That means if patient is not triggering a breath, ventilator will keep giving a breath after every 4th second or whatever time we have set. If patient triggers a breath, it will cancel its own time trigger. Let's revise what we have learned so far in this video. We have learned about the trigger. There are two kinds of the trigger. One is the ventilator driven trigger and the second is the patient driven trigger. When ventilator triggers a breath, it triggers a breath with a time factor, which can be obtained from dividing 60 seconds by the set rate. When patient drives a breath, it has to be recognized by the ventilator. It can be recognized by the pressure drop or the flow trigger. There are certainly different kinds of the trigger which we have not covered here, but we will surely cover it in the future videos. Thanks for the watch.